Welcome to another episode of You Good Bro. We're here. We've got a special guest. Goes by the name of Tsaint. He also goes. This is my guy, by the way. Just to let you know, he goes by the Lazy Filmmaker on YouTube and founder of Made in Black Studios as well. He's also worked for the likes of Netflix and also BBC on documentaries. And we're here to talk about his experience in the UK over the last 5 years as well, since you've moved over. So, as we always do on You Good Bro. You good, bro?
Yes, I'm good. I'm good today. Yeah, I don't know about tomorrow because I've got like a long day of shoots. But right now I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fly. This is a nice setup. You guys are great. So yeah, how about you? You good?
I'm good. If you don't know, the other week I took part in one of your workshops on Made in Black Studios, which is about cinematography, which was really good. And it's something which I'm looking to build, like, you know, my repertoire in the technical side of things.
Nice.
And it was really good.
Are you saying that because I'm here though? Like, it was really good. I was like,
no, it was good. It was good. It was.
You're good, bro. You're good.
It was good. It was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
It was a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I figured.
You made me direct. Well, I enjoyed it.
You were great though. You were really calm. And that's what makes a great director, in my opinion. You were like, yeah, I know what I want. Even if you were not able to communicate it in the moment because of the tension, you were like, yeah, I think I want this to look different. And that's proper quality of a good director. So well done. Big up to you.
Appreciate it. So just as we crack on, for those who don't know, tell us a bit about yourself, your background, where you're from, and you know, what brought you to the UK in 2021.
Okay, so let's do like we do it back home. Story. You say story. So let's do it again. Story. You say story back. When
story.
Good. Let's do it again. Story. Great. Once upon a time. Okay, I'm just kidding. So I moved here in 2021 from Nigeria. And before then I had like 10 years of experience, you know, as a 10 or more. I think it's like 10 or more. But I like to keep it at 10 so it doesn't sound like I'm cocky. So being a cinematographer, a video producer, I'd worked in TV, I'd worked in commercials. But at the time, I started doing work that put me in trouble, I would like to say. So I started doing like investigative journalism work because I just really love to tell stories about humans and social justice stories of filmmaking. And not like I ran away from Nigeria. Like most people would say, oh, you're in trouble, you ran. No, I just felt like I wasn't in a space where I could grow anymore, per se, at the time. So I moved here in 2021. And I moved with like, you know, you think you're moving to greener pastures. Yeah. That was so great, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the before. And then moving here was kind of a different story because you move here and then you realize that your experiences don't matter. You know, they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to places and I'm like, oh, I'm a filmmaker. They're like, yeah, okay, cool. What else? And I'm like, I just said I'm a filmmaker, like, and they're like, yeah, everyone is a filmmaker. I'm like, okay. And then I just quickly realized, because I came here to study, I quickly realized that I had to rebuild from scratch, which wasn't very fun because now you're dealing with, did I make a mistake? You know, did I leave everything behind? When I left Nigeria, I was earning so well, to be honest. I left everything behind. I remember I packed and I moved here with just my computer. And one, if you know these bags, if you're African, it is Ghana must go.
Yeah, them bags, the plate bags.
Yeah, exactly. I had a proper Ghana must go. And I'm not even kidding, I'm not making this up. It was a Ghana must go with food stuff, my iMac at the time. I think was like a waste bag. That's all I came into the country with. And I was hoping, or in a year I would pick up, because I sold my cameras and everything to travel. It wasn't the same, you know. I had to start all over, but yeah, it's a long story.
Yeah. I must ask you this because, like, you know, I always wondered this about when my grandparents moved over here.
Yeah.
Before you moved to the UK, what did you think the UK was going to be like?
So to be fair, I didn't think it was going to be like proper, like greener pastures. But I just knew that it was structured way better than, you know, the structure I was working with back home. Trust me, I learned in an industry that is one of the greatest in my opinion because you learn to do stuff with little. You learn to make great stuff. But it just gets to a point where the industry was built around man, no man. That's why I like to say it. It's like, oh, if you need to be in these spaces, you have to, like, for lack of better terms, kiss ass. You know? we can blot that out in the edit, but that's the only way I can explain it. You have to be in everyone's clique to be able to like grow. People don't give you opportunities because of your merits as much.
Yeah.
So I felt like, okay, let me come into the UK. I mean, I had this picture of the UK would be different. I was so wrong.
They've been telling that dream for years, bro.
Yeah, bro, I was so wrong. I'm like, I'm back to that journey now. The only thing is now it's like people don't come out and say this is what you need to do, but underneath, that's what you need to do.
They sell the highlight reel.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
just about the reality of setting in, you know, once you settled into the country, what were like the real day-to-day challenges for the first few months or years?
Oh my gosh, it's a lot. 20 hours as a student, I find it ridiculous, especially as an adult that's coming into, because between my undergraduate and my master's degree was like 7 years of a gap, because I had worked for like 7 years. So coming into a space where I couldn't work more than 20 hours a week because I had to be legal, was so difficult, because how much can you really make in 20 hours a week? You know, you're barely able to like pay your rent. At the same time, and it's crazy, bro. Like, it's mad crazy that back home you pay your rent for a year and you're chilled because we pay yearly. Here you pay monthly. Yeah. And I'm like, what the? How? So you're going out, you're working, you're trying to make money for that week so that you can afford to pay your rent for the month. Yeah. That was one of the most difficult things, to be honest, for 1 year. So I was taking anything. I was cleaning, I was waiting at tables, I was working in care, I was warehouse, I was counting onions. Bro, it's insane. But yeah.
Do you know what's crazy to me as well? Yeah. And this is probably like the craziest thing is we hear the immigrant experience. A lot of people look at it, especially people who were born and raised in the UK, look at it from a different way. You know, we don't have to, you know, talk about what goes on in the media and news. Yeah, you come in with experience working for all these big companies, experience working on big documentaries, working for likes of BBC, Netflix, and you come in and you have a experience which you start from ground zero. Yeah, and I think it's a shame because it's like some people think that, you know, immigrants get an easy ride in the country. No, they don't.
No,
you know?
They do not. Like, if anyone has told you that we have it easy, they're lying to you. They're lying to your face. We're coming with a lot of experience. I can't lie. Because again, we're coming from a country where you have to work for everything. So you have to like really make sure you grow your craft. And then you're coming here thinking that would translate, and it doesn't. And this is not just my story, because, for example, I made a film called On My Way, where I spoke to different people on different journeys, and you would realize quickly that. So one of the things I started doing when I first moved in was I was asking people questions in taxis, like everyday people. I've been at Uber and I'm like, how long have you been here? And it's like, oh, I'm 20 years. Has anything changed? And they'll be like, nope. I'm like, gosh, I'm in the wrong place, you know? And I quickly realized that if you would survive in this country or in this system, you would have to just accept that you're starting all over. Yeah. The earlier you accept that and you quickly rebuild, the better. That's my opinion. Yeah.
One question I would say to follow up from that is, did you ever feel pressure to like assimilate, or did you ever sit yourself down to change how you present yourself to fit in? Because we spoke off mic every week when we were doing the course. And you're talking about like, even though you're a cinematographer, a lot of the roles you're going for were sort of
entry level.
Did you feel that pressure?
Every time. Yeah, every time. Bro, I had to, not proud of it, but there was a time in my life where I went on my CV and I changed everything from cinematographer to camera operator. Because that was the entry level. That was, because I would go into jobs and they'd be like, oh, you're too qualified. Like, what does that even mean? And I'm like, just give me anything, I'll do it. Like, let me build from scratch. And they're like, nah, we're prioritizing people that are new level. So I got to a point where I went for a training, I remember clearly, and one of the facilitators, I spoke to him after, because I would go into spaces and I talk to people just to network. And he said, your portfolio is impressive, but I would advise you to change your title from cinematographer to camera operator if you want to get opportunities. And this is somebody I trusted. I felt like, oh, this is a great advice. So I did that. And did I get opportunities? No. However, that also set me up, because I remember going to like a rental place at the time, and I told the guy like, I'm trying to meet first ACs, you know, assistant cameras. And he said, but you're a cinematographer, right? I said, yeah. So why are you then asking for those opportunities? And it's like, if people get to know you as a first AC, you will never grow to a cinematographer. And that was the time I changed everything in my head. But that pressure was real.
And I think that's like very important, because I think you don't understand that experience until you go through it. Did you ever, like, when you first moved to the UK or Manchester, for example, did you ever like connect or meet people who were going through something similar, so you had that sort of community to get you through the tough time?
Yes and no. Because I moved into Bradford.
Mm.
When I moved here for uni, I had a master's in Bradford.
Mhm.
Bradford was pretty much more affordable for me at the time. So I was in Bradford for like 2 years. And throughout 2 years, I was looking for community. I would go into spaces. I would talk to everyone. I'm a filmmaker. And to be fair, like I think some of the things I got today came from Bradford because,
Mhm.
like I said, I used to apply for entry-level stuff. I applied for mentorship opportunities,
Yeah.
and then I remember when I met the mentor, Sonny Kang, great guy. He's still like my great mentor to today. It was like, the first time we met was like, what are you doing here, bro? Like, he was like, what do I can't teach you anything,
Yeah.
However, because I kept going around and asking questions and I got that mentorship from Bradford, the guy was in Manchester. I quickly realized that Manchester was a better place for me creatively.
Mhm.
Bradford is great, but there's not a lot of creative ops for people like me there. So when I moved into Manchester, things started opening up a bit. And then I started talking to more people, joining communities.
Mhm.
But I still feel like there's a big gap in terms of, especially filmmakers. There's
Yeah.
communities for like creatives like artists, poets, visual artists.
Mhm.
But filmmakers are really scattered all over the UK.
Yeah, and I think that's just very important to sort of identify and sort of acknowledge. Now, what would you say, especially in the UK, because you've been here a while now, what would you say is like the sort of big breakthrough is within the industry since you've been in the UK?
I don't think there's one. I don't think there's a breakthrough yet. I feel like it's still like every day you're still trying to like push. Okay, some things have changed. There are more programs now that are structured towards, underrepresented communities. And even though that's a bit annoying sometimes, but when you still apply for those things, you still want to write your story down so that you can be picked. So it's like, I want to be the saddest story. it's crazy. I want to be like, I'm self-taught. I had to learn through this. It wasn't easy. So this opportunity will be great for me. Because if you don't do that, if you come out and say, this is why I deserve to be here, you don't get picked. So I tell people this, like, I know things are changing, opportunities are opening up, but it's still very much like, if you're experienced to a level, we don't want you. We don't care about you. So what happens to people like us that are experienced? How do we survive in the industry?
Yeah.
I understand you're prioritizing people that are new to it, but what happens to people that need to be developed further?
For sure. Because I think, like as we said, Todd, you came in on a global talent visa.
Yeah.
Now that is a highly skilled visa for people in the creative industry.
Yeah.
So you should come in on a certain level to go, okay, I'm coming into the country to work in the industry.
Yeah.
And that should give me a better opportunity because that visa is hard to come by, having worked in the creative industry yourself.
Yeah.
So
let me correct that. So I didn't come in on a global talent visa, actually. I came in on a student visa to study digital marketing. But because I had like loads of experience and at the time also information, I wasn't informed enough to know that I qualified for a global talent visa. So all this while I was trying to sort myself out, I was on a student visa. Then I moved from a student visa to a skilled workers visa, which was like an organization sponsored me to be a video producer. Then I remember working with the director at the BBC and was like, yo, what visa are you on? And I said, a skilled worker visa. I was like, why? I said, we worked on something in 2020. Everyone that worked on that project is in the country on a global talent visa. And I'm like, oh, dang. You were like, okay, I'm going to write you a letter, a recommendation letter. Whenever you choose to apply for it, go on. Bro, it took me a year to apply for it because I still was feeling, that imposter syndrome of you've been told to shrink yourself so much that you're like, maybe I don't qualify. I applied for it eventually a year after and I got my response in 2 weeks, which is ridiculous because it takes like 8 weeks or more. So I'm just trying to say my journey has been more of students. Again, that's another thing about it. Most people are not informed. People don't have community that tells them you can do this. You get to a point where you're shrunk so much that you start to feel less of yourself and all your portfolio feels like maybe I'm not good enough eventually. So that was my story. I started from student, a skilled worker. Then I was like, I deserve to be a global talent, and I got it. And it's crazy because you would think, oh, now you have that, you get more opportunities. Nope. You still keep fighting for it.
Yeah, and it's a really sad sort of state of affairs because you are very talented and you've even got your own company now, which is our next topic.
Let's go. Let's talk about it.
So, tell us about Made in Black, Stu.
So again, I feel like I try not to sell Made in Black like I'm selling a company. I try to say, this is why Made in Black exists. Made in Black exists based off lived experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have come here with loads of experience. I've come into the country. I felt like I was going to like easily like integrate. That did not happen. I lacked information. I also didn't get proper, like, I'll call it OT, orientation, on how I can position myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that took me a while to get to where I am now, where now I can compete, easily, creatively. Loads of people are like me.
Mm-hmm.
People are coming into the country and they have to like do care shifts. They have to do anything that no business of filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
I started Made in Black because I wanted to put everybody back in a room. You don't need to keep running around. Like, look at me, for example. And I tell people, use me as like a point of reference because it's also difficult when you can't find someone that's done it. Because I used to tell my friends the same thing. My friends see me and they're like, I'm glad you've done this thing because now I know it's possible. Right? Because we come in with a lot of, oh, it's not possible to do that. Yo, you can't get this. Oh, you're disadvantaged.
Mm-hmm.
I have done it. You're not disadvantaged. You just need to be like guided. You need to be trained also because if you don't have, like most people move from countries also and they're probably starting out back in, let's say, Ghana or maybe like, let's say, Kenya. Maybe they were like mid-career level. When they come here, they can't compete at all because they didn't even cook their careers to a good level enough before they left their countries. So now they come here and they have to like just give up on the creative arts.
And I think as well, and this is one thing I want to ask you is, those times where you were having to do jobs outside of your experience, creative, for me, having a creative outlet helps me with my mental health. Was there any times where you sort of said, why am I doing this for? Why am I here? Did it ever affect your mental health when you're doing things outside of your...
I was borderline depressed. But there's one thing I was glad I did throughout. I never stopped myself from being in spaces that feels creative. So I'll go out and people will put out posts and say, we need someone to drive, or someone to like assistant, a runner. And I'd never been a runner before in my career. I'm not being arrogant. I just never started from being a runner. And then I'll go and say, like, what can I do? They're like, oh, charge batteries. Oh, cool. Why not? That helped me because it made me take, for example, I'll take behind the scene photos of myself. It made me feel good that I was still on set. And there's a thing that most people don't acknowledge. When you used to work back home and you move here, your mates back home, your colleagues are looking at you. They're like, let's see what happens to you now. And it's a thing people don't admit. You also want to have a sense of, even though I'm not where I want to be, I'm still working in the industry. I remember going to like a workshop in London. It was the NFTS. And I just went there and it was like a 1 hour workshop on writing. And when I was done, I took a photo behind the roll-up banner. And people started congratulating me on Instagram. Like, oh, well done, you're going to the NFTS. Oh, my days, we're so proud of you. No, I just went for it. I didn't say yes or no. I just kept it like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But it helps your mental well-being. Not like you're faking it, but it just makes you still feel like you're still a filmmaker. You don't feel like a fraud when you say you're a filmmaker, especially when you're there picking onions or carrots in Sainsbury, So my mental health was not the best at the time, but I was able to manage it by always going to creative spaces, which is why Made in Black, it's very important that people just don't feel like they have to come film. The fact that you're around cameras, for example, here, this is creative. This makes me feel like I'm doing what I'm, born to do.
Yeah.
So what you guys are doing is also helping because people can come on these shows, tell their stories, and let it all out.
For sure. And thanks again. What I love about it is a very inclusive space. The Made in Black studio, having taken part in one of your workshops, it was like an amazing experience because you taught people your craft and I could sense that it was your passion and I could sense that you were transferring those skills and you weren't sort of, we had to apply, but there was a lot of people who it was the first time holding the camera. It was the first time doing lighting. It was the first time working with, you even
big
talked
equipment.
about big equipment and the different sort of colours. We talked about...
you remember that one?
I saw tungsten.
These guys are talking about tungsten scenes. Tungsten lighting looks great on black skin. Right?
And just learn about different things. And I think it's just amazing that you've opened that up to many communities. You might feel disenfranchised or you might have come to a country trying to do something similar to yourself.
Something similar,
and have just had to take up a day-to-day job to sort of...
Just to survive.
Crazy. So, come on to like our final few questions. First of all, what is like the overarching aim for Made in Black Studios? Because, you've done your first workshop in Manchester, which went down really well.
Yeah, thank you.
And you've done it in other cities as well. What would you say the main aim is moving forward?
Yeah, so Made in Black is a community. We're building a space for like Black filmmakers. And there are 2 tiers of that. People that have come into the country and have to rebuild their careers, and also people that have always felt like maybe the screen industry is not for them. And I just want them to feel represented. It's not about workshops. It's not about, going for classes. It's about community. Sometimes we come into a space and we just do nothing than share jollof rice and just chat about film. You know what I mean? Like, and I want people to be able to like see people grow in the industry and say, okay, if this person can do this, then I can do it. So Made in Black, the plan is to keep promoting community of filmmakers. And if you're like a beginner, if you're someone that's experienced, because it's a community, it grows by itself. I'm not trying to be the one to keep doing these things. I'm trying to make sure everyone comes into that space and feels the need to like inspire the next person. So my goal, for example, in the next 6 months is, and which I've done that in the past with Shoot Your Shot. Some of the people from my Shoot Your Shot have now come into the UK for like the film festivals, London film festivals from Nigeria, because it started in Nigeria in 2020. Some of them are now coming to the UK for the first time with their films. So I'm so proud to say I've made award-winning filmmakers, or I've helped them in their journey. So that's the same thing here. Most people in the community will get to a point where they can ditch these everyday jobs and say, I'm going to lock in and be a full-time filmmaker that I was back home. And I'm very sure I can get opportunities. There will be like opportunities for screenings also. People are able to make their films and then come as a community and watch their films. It's going to be like a very peer-to-peer community. We're watching films, we're giving critique. One of the things I feel like people have lost in festivals now is also that peer-to-peer criticism of films. When I was starting out, you play your film to your peers, like the film peers, and people will pass the microphone around and say, I don't like that scene. I feel like that character wasn't, very motivated. Not to bash you, but to just improve your work. And that's what Made in Black is about. Because if we don't make quality work, then we can't really fight for the space we want in the industry.
Yeah, because at the same time, when you open up that work to the wider audience, they're going to be more critical.
Exactly.
So it's important not to have like, people who, yes men and women. It's important to just be like, okay, this is a standard I've worked with my experience, and this is what we need to do. I think that's what showed in when I took part of the workshop. It was like, this is what industry standard is.
Yeah. So you need to play on that level.
You need to play on that level.
You can't ask for what you're not bringing, to be honest. And I used to tell people the same thing also. People also feel like Made in Black is just, we have to be Black people in a room and being like, we want this. No, that's not what it is. It's we're in a space, we're going to bring people from outside our space, outside our communities, to come tell us what the industry wants, so we can learn from it. So I've got mates that are not Black, but they're going to come into that space to like have conversations with us. They are very experienced in that space. Because I tell people this is not my country yet. It's going to be sometime. But when you go into a space, you want to learn. You want to be able to like put your head down, learn the ways of people so you can fully integrate.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So that's the goal. That's the big picture eventually.
That's good. A few other questions as well I've got for you. This is more just to do with like the immigrant experience.
Yes.
What would you say, like, for example, there's a lot of people who are moving to the UK.
Yeah.
From whether it's from Nigeria, if it's from Ghana, from other parts of the world, such as like Asia, like India.
Yeah.
What would you say the biggest takeaway or the biggest learning curve that you've had since moving to the UK?
From my own personal experience with me, yeah?
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest ones I would always tell people is, first understand that you're moving into a new space. There are new rules. It's like how when I was learning to drive, they say new road, new rules, new country, new rules. Learn to integrate by not feeling like you are disadvantaged. When you start feeling you're disadvantaged, you're already disadvantaged, right? Come in knowing that, yes, this is not my space. This is not, it's as simple as people complain about, the food is not spicy. Yes, it's not spicy. This is England. You know what I mean? Like, if you want spicy food, make it in your house. But don't go out there and make everyone feel like they should change for you. You wouldn't want that in your own country. You don't want someone else coming to your country and telling you how to do things. So when you come into a country, learn the ways, understand what ticks for them. Don't lose yourself. But try to integrate. Try to respect the things you find there. Yeah,
and that's the great point that you've made as well. Now, we haven't touched on your YouTube channel.
Yes,
we'll touch on that really quickly.
Okay.
Tell us a bit about the YouTube channel.
So I run a channel called The Lazy Filmmaker. And people ask me, why The Lazy Filmmaker? Because I just feel like I'm lazy, to be honest.
You are not lazy.
I just feel like I'm lazy, bro.
Maybe timekeeping, but
yes, maybe. Maybe. I'm like, yeah, I'm lazy. I'm like, oh, do I have to do this now? But when I get to do it, I go all the way. But the channel, again, is built on the things, my values. I love to impact people, genuinely. I feel like I should have been a teacher in my past life. But since I can't go through the contemporary educational route, I have the channel where I teach cinematography, lighting, and color grading for dark-skinned people. I'm sorry, I'm a fanboy of the black color.
But I mean, again, it's like, it's making that the norm, because if you learn in a particular way, you might not learn that in the industry. So you coming from a background working in Nigeria where you tend to work with people with dark skin tones, that's very important to have the representation, and that's what Made in Black Studios represents. So it all ties in with the lazy film. So
everything I do is very driven from the fact that I'm very big on representation. I want my people, myself, to be able to go into a room and not have to like shrink myself, right? When I started watching YouTube, because I learned everything by myself, I would see loads of tutorials, but none applied to people of dark skin color. And I'm like, I'm learning how to color grade, but I'm learning it with not people that look like me. And I'm working in an industry of people that look like me. So I had to learn from them. Kudos to the guys that taught on YouTube. Then understand it, to work in my own space. And I see loads of people struggle to make stuff look good. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to start teaching people how to color grade dark skin people. And my first video blew up. And when it blew up, I was like, okay, that means there's a need here. And I just started creating more and more and more. That's it.
But you know what? It's been a great episode. Where can people find you? And where can people join your workshops as well?
Yeah, so you can find me, I don't know, when people say where can people find me? Social media, yes, The Lazy Filmmaker _. And then I've got like the Made in Black Studios. You can also go to the website, madeinblackstudios.com. And my workshops are going to called Shoot Your Shots, which was the one that you attended. Great guy, was an amazing participant. My workshops are going to be throughout the year, Manchester, in the north of England. We're trying to take some to London. So London people, sit tight. But aside that, we're doing other stuff like exposure. It's called, it's a walk and shoot, So again, everything is now about trainings. Community is more of just hanging out with people that share the same values and the same interests. So exposure is to like expose people to like for me, I've been in England since 2021 and I don't think I've seen England enough because you're so deep into hustling that you don't even get to see your streets. This is probably my first time in this building and I walk past here almost every time. So exposure is to take people, filmmakers that are so stuck or buried in the hustle to say, you know what, we're going to go out today, not anything, we're not making money, we're just going to be people in a space. So loads of those will be happening on the social media, Made in Black Studios. So yeah, that's where you can find us.
We'll post all your links in our bio.
Thank you.
On our Spotify page and also on our YouTube, and Apple Music page. So people will be able to find you.
Yes.
Tsaint, thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Good to see you again.
Yeah, same here.
And big shout out to Black Creative Trailblazer for linking us up together as well.
Yes, those guys are the best actually. They've been looking at that in Manchester.
They've been connecting creatives across Manchester, so do follow them as well.
Yep.
Well, that's been another episode of You Good Bro. Thanks for Tsaint for joining us today.
Thanks to you, my guy.
See you next week. Peace.
Bye-bye.